UnifiedChamp.com. We have the IBO president, Mr. Ed Levine, here with us today. Mr. Levine is, I think, in my opinion, oversees the fairest sanctioning body in the world, and we're very happy to have him, and we're going to ask him some questions about the organization and where it's headed and its increased visibility. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing fine, Will. Everything has been going very well, thank you.
Mr. Levine, I guess I'll ask initially about the IBO. It was founded in 1988. I read that you became, president and partner in 1998, and I just want to know from when you first walked into the office to now, how much have things changed?
Well, with regard to the changes in the IBO, at the time that we started, which was actually 1999, the IBO would be considered one of the dozen or so sanctioning bodies that had little to no recognition, champions that were not of the highest quality. But we felt that we needed the vehicle, and the vehicle was there, and we decided to use that vehicle and bring it forward. So the changes have been trying to bring something new to the table. And one of the first things, obviously, that we've done, we decided we were not going to take the traditional route of subjective rankings, rankings that would be more for the benefit of, we wanted to have rankings that could be trusted, reliable, with no human input, and that couldn't be manipulated in any way. So that was the first thing that we did, and that was what gave us initial traction to get our attention, the attention of the boxing world. And since then, we have voted forward with the theme and principle that we're going to try to bring something clean to a sport that has a history of not being so clean, or unfortunately being not respected by many people, particularly outside of the sport of boxing.
Oh, absolutely, and that's a perfect segue to my next question, Mr. Levine. That perception that you were talking about that seems to permeate the landscape, not just within boxing, can be, it can be blamed on several things, and I think instances like a couple weeks ago in which the WBO sanctioned a title fight, an interim title fight, without notifying the interim titleist that he was being stripped and his title was going to be up for grabs between two other men. And they didn't inform Kermit Citron, who had actually beaten one of the men that was fighting for the title, at all. And I want to know your feeling on the interim title, because I know you guys don't believe in that.
Proper level. It will definitely be without interim titles in recess, diamond titles. What's next? Different color titles.
Yeah.
It just hurts the perception of boxing to the fan. We've been asked over this past year to do a few interim titles, and you can see why they're done. It adds to the bottom line of the sanctioning bodies that choose to do it, but it's not something that we will do. We've turned it down on two occasions this past year. It's just not good for the sport.
And it's out of control, in my opinion. And, the fact that the Hoppy's interim titleist and they'll still demand sanctioning fees, it really hurts the perception of a sport that's so great. And we don't even have to elaborate on that anymore. My last question, because I know your time is limited, is that we talked about visibility, and the IBO is more and more becoming visible. You guys have an incredible list of champions. You have a promotion in Australia coming up that is going to be on a world stage, in my opinion. It's a big-time fight, and when I hear Roy Jones talk about it, he talks about that IBO cruiserweight title just like he would talk about a WBC title, and I know that it has to warm your heart to hear that.
Yes, well, Roy Jones has always been one of those fighters who recognized what the IBO brought to the table. An interesting side light to that light heavyweight division. If you go back over the last 8 or 9 years, you'll see that almost every light heavyweight championship fight involving the acknowledged true light heavyweight champion of the world, I think almost everyone involved IBO title, whether it be Tarver, Johnson, Jones, and now Dawson. It's a way of the elite fighter to know that if he's the IBO champion, he will be truly, if he is number one in the world, if he's the best champion, it'll be reflected in what we put out there. And we won't be telling him that he has to fight some arbitrary, mandatory, that makes no commercial sense against a fighter who has been lobbied into that position. So it works for the elite champions. Roy Jones always recognized that. It's why Klitschko recognized it, why Dawson recognized that, and many, and Pacquiao as well. We're hoping to bring some sanity to the sport. It's difficult to get track as to whether to take a step outside of the box and do something different. But we'll keep going the straight and narrow path. That's our goal, and we'll stay with it.
Absolutely. UnifiedChamp.com. This is Mr. President Ed Levine of the International Boxing Organization. He's a nice man, and we're going to follow the sanctioning body as it continues to grow and continues to branch out. And we think that the system that they have with the computerized rankings and the no interim titles, they are the standard, in our opinion, certainly mine, for how sanctioning bodies should be run. Mr. Levine, we thank you.